Hello everyone, I'm Kabir Abdul Majid and my project is on challenges of online learning in developing countries such as Nigeria. In the previous Milestone video, I talked about my motivation and the reasons why I'm pursuing this topic. I decided to use survey research to find out what are the factors, what are the challenges that's affecting students and preventing them from utilizing numerous resources that we have online and in participating in MOOCs and other forms of online learning. So with my initial literature survey, I realized that we could group these factors into three main factors, which I classified as IT infrastructural factors, socioeconomic factors, and sociocultural factors. These challenges were now grouped into different factors. For example, the IT infrastructure challenges grouped into these factors. Socioeconomic challenges were grouped into these factors, and sociocultural challenges were grouped into these factors. I administered the survey between the 3rd of November to the 16th of November, and I had different kind of stochastic response rates. And initially, I started with student groups, and thereafter, on the 8th of November, I switched into the use of social media to reach students from diverse backgrounds, and student and respondents were also provided incentives which improved or increased the response rates and the completion rates of the survey. Here I have the responses, recorded responses from the respondents, and these questions are related to IT infrastructural challenges. You can see that quite a number of a huge proportion of respondents have internet access, although this internet access is not always as good as it could be. The quality is not the best. You can see on the right here we have only 23.3% to able to rate the quality of internet service to be very good. Similarly, the connectivity technology that's been in use is mainly 3G and 4G. Actually, 5G is not yet in Nigeria, and in fact, the government is delaying the rollout of 5G technology because of the possible inherent risks to the internet and telecommunications infrastructure. In the same vein, on the right, we have 96% of respondents agree to have a mobile phone or laptop with internet access. 85.2% respond that they could have access to technical support, and at the same time, we have about 31% of respondents agree that they have taken a course on Coursera, edX, Udacity, or Udemy, and similar platforms before. Also from here, we will notice that most of the students, most of the respondents agree to have spent more time on social media for entertainment as compared to spending the same amount of time for using the internet for education or online learning. As expected, most of the students in undergraduates, they have computer literacy skills, and it's not surprising that a huge proportion are very comfortable with the use of computers. Although there is a big challenge with electricity supply, and many respondents have agreed that the supply of electricity, which is usually epileptic in Nigeria, affects their ability to use the internet for online learning. Nonetheless, most of the respondents agree that 64.8% agree that they would be willing to spend more money to purchase subscriptions that will give them access to online learning. And socioeconomic responses, this basically trying to gauge the challenges in terms of a socioeconomic perspective. these two questions closely related in terms of how much income the students are making and how well they believe they fall into the high socioeconomic status in the society. Students are not also shy. They believe that they have confidence in their academic background, in their academic abilities, and they believe that they can compete with international students in an online program. At the same time, they believe that most of the educational facilities in their locality is not good enough. Here we can observe that most of the institutions, although this is subject to bias, if we have many respondents from the same university, most of the institutions do not have online course offerings. In terms of social cultural responses, this gauge factors such as age, such as language, religion, and culture, and so on. And from the first question, we can see that a lot of respondents agree that they face some form of discrimination. Although the question asks for gender-related discrimination, the short answer questions in the short answer question, we have responses such as financial harassment. We have questions such as ethnicity, favoritism, sexual harassment, or ethnic related discrimination. And at the same time, most of respondents agree that online learning could be a solution to mitigating or totally eliminating this kind of discrimination. Many of the respondents, 56.2%, which is more than half of the respondents, agree that they would be willing to participate in online learning if the resources are available. And at the same time, there's no clear record that religion or cultural affiliation or affect their pursuit of online education. Here we can see that language and communication skills are crucial, and the respondents have also noted that they have the ability to understand and communicate in different English accents, such as the American, British, and Australian, which could be crucial if they would need to take online courses from different universities worldwide. Here it could be seen that listening has been listed as one of the most as one of the critical skills, communication skills, and this needs to be solved because online learning has to do with a lot of listening compared to writing or speaking. Here, there's an interesting question here about which mode of education people prefer, and it seems that many of the respondents would prefer to go for the traditional classroom settings compared to the online settings. Here's a list of future work and the ones that have been struck at are the parts that I've completed. Right now, I've stopped receiving responses. The survey is still open, but I've separated the data, and I will conduct follow-up interviews with the respondents, and I'll do some processing and analytics and draw conclusions from the data that I have. Thank you very much.